Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'll be tackling a question that I think a lot of photographers ask themselves. Social media have shifted the way we think about aspect ratios and it's nudged us to shoot in a more portrait mode. But is it always the best choice to shoot in portrait mode? Let's break it down. So at the beginning of this year, 2024, I started a brand new Instagram account because I wanted to dedicate an account that was just landscape photos. And I did something a little bit different, but it's becoming more and more popular. If you go on my Instagram, you'll notice that my photos have a white border around them. I do this because I want to post my landscape photographs in their natural 3:2 aspect ratio without any cropping and still have them look great on my Instagram feed, which I personally think looks really good. I must say, I really think it gives my feed that unique look. I know, as I said before, the white borders on your pictures is becoming more and more popular. I obviously do this because I want to keep my photos in the original format that I intended it to be, which was landscape in the 3:2 aspect ratio. So before we move on, I just want to quickly run through my process on how I add the white borders to my Instagram photos. Right, okay, so we're just going to dive into Photoshop right now and I'll show you my tutorial on how I get my white borders for my Instagram posts. So firstly, I just want to show you my template that I always use for my Instagram posts, my landscape, my squares and my carousel posts and all that jazz. So and then we'll make a separate one so you can understand the process and the step-by-step on how to make your own cloud document or Photoshop document. So I'm just going to open up my template that I always use. If you look to the layer side here on the right, you can see I've got a landscape layer that's locked. The locked square means obviously you can't move it whatsoever unless you unlock it. Yeah? And to lock a layer, all you do is come underneath your opacity and next to your fill. It's literally that padlock there. And that locks the layer for you. As you can probably tell, I've got a landscape one, I've got a square one, and I've got a vertical one. And I've got like a dual post one, and that's mainly for a carousel, but I'll show you my landscape one that I'm doing at the moment. So this is obviously locked. I'm just going to import this image, and as you can see, it's not the true landscape picture that I was talking about before in the talking head video. This is because I don't have any pictures on my actual new hard drive. It's literally in this one and I cannot be bothered to plug it in, so I'm just going to use this picture. So if you have a picture like this and you want it to be in that landscape aspect ratio for your white borders, all you got to do is press Option or Alt on your keyboard to make a clipping mask onto that landscape layer and then literally just drag it to the corners. Now you got to be careful with this stuff. If you are using clipping masks, then be careful of the top of the screen, which you can see here, and be careful when you export it, because just double check. But I'm just going to make that a bit bigger, and there you go. I think it's because once you see this blue line, once it's close to the background that you've clipping masked to it, then it can show behind the photo. And then from there, I'm just going to go Command Option Shift W, and that brings up your export settings. I do JPEG high and literally just leave that export, and then export it to your hard drive if you wish, or your desktop, and go from there. And then literally just airdrop it to your phone if you're on Mac or Apple, or just send it yourself. That's why Apple's good, because you just literally just airdrop it to yourself. So let's make our own Instagram border. We're going to go File, New, and then obviously we want a square, so let's go 10 or 5, 5, 8, 8. Literally it's a square at the end of the day. Boom, that's a square, yeah? So get your landscape picture. Let me just double check my downloads or if I have a landscape picture whatsoever. Alright, cool. So I've got a landscape picture. I get it's me. It's just from my desktop. And once you import it, it obviously fills the edge of the borders or the screen. So all you got to do literally is size it down to whatever you fancy. If you want big borders, little borders, it's entirely up to you. So I'm just going to do this for now. It doesn't have to be perfect, because once you've resized it a little bit, go to your layer mask, press the layer that you're on, press Command A, and if you come to the very top of the screen, press that middle one and then that other middle one. And once you press that, it should be the equal amount on both sides, so it's bang on in the middle of the page. And then again, just lock it, and then you can use that as your template, and then just save the document, and then start importing your photos just like that. Yeah, that's what I do, guys, to get the Instagram white borders. I'll just show you quickly how I do square borders or something like that. So we're obviously staying with the square format. I'm going to make a square using the rectangle tool, if you want to call it that. And then I'm just going to make a new layer and literally just, I know there's probably faster ways than this, but I'm just going to paint this in. White is probably best, but I'll just do black for the tutorial here. Coming back to that layer again, press Command A, middle, and then that should be perfect for you. And then so import that photo, clip and mask it, zoom it in, and there you go. There's your white borders. So why do I shoot in landscape anyway? Posting in landscape just feels right to me because that's just how I view the world. I want my photos to feel as natural as possible. That's why I shoot around 35 to 40mm, and I prefer to shoot landscape because that's just how I hold the camera naturally. I don't really tend to put it vertical in the portrait aspect of it. But you've also got famous photographers like Jane Pops's, Daniel Kaysen and Wivgar that also have the same approach with the white borders and posting on Instagram like that. And adding them white borders obviously preserves them images that they were intended to shot. I know Wivgar does obviously portrait shots as well. As you can go on their feeds, they've got the white borders and that's how they intended their photograph to look. Me, it's all about keeping that original composition intact with the image. And you know, just adding them white borders lets the image breathe, if you know what I mean. I think at the end of the day, obviously it's all down to personal preference. If you choose to shoot in a portrait orientation, that can be perfect for that, you know, tight framing. And obviously shooting in a portrait orientation and you post it on Instagram is obviously going to boost that a lot more because it's filling more of the screen. But again, if you're like me and you value the full view of the scene, landscape just feels more natural. Again, it's pretty much just how you want to convey your images and how you want to present your work. White borders is just better for me because it fits better with my photography, and I've got a whole process on how I achieve the white borders, and I'm just in the flow state pretty much when I'm thinking about it and when I'm posting on Instagram. Going back to my last video, it's really fit well into my nighttime routine because I'm trying to post every day on Instagram. Make sure you check me out at Glynn Hodson. And just adding the white borders fits well in my nighttime routine. As I said before, it's a good process for me to have while posting landscape photos. I'm trying every day. Make sure you check out last week's video to understand where I'm coming from about this. But yeah, it just fits well for my photography. I know a lot of people that I follow don't do this and they've got amazing feeds. I'll try and throw them on screen, and obviously I'll tag them below and put the links in the description. Again, it's all personal preference at the end of the day. Shoot what you want to shoot. Don't let a social media app convince you or force you a different way to shoot. That's why I shoot landscape as well, because I don't want something that doesn't really exist to force me a different way to shoot and post, and how I want to express my photography and creative outlook and all that jazz. So that's more of a deeper meaning to it. I don't want to get into that because that's just a bit too deep for this channel. But yeah, just shoot how you want to shoot, man. That's pretty much it. And also with that, let me know if you prefer to shoot portrait or landscape. Obviously, if you're going for engagement, portrait is probably best. And that's the end of the video, guys, so thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Obviously, leave a like and comment down below. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notification bells. I've got a new video every single Wednesday at 6 PM, so stay tuned. I've ordered an SD card today. I was supposed to go out on a photo walk, but it's just dead cloudy and we're pretty much in winter now, aren't we? So next week, I promise, I'm going on a photo walk and I'm going to do some POV stuff, and I'm going to try and make the video really, really good because that's the type of avenue of video I want to go down. Less of a tangent. Thank you again very much for watching. Ciao for now.